Once the grown-ups are gone, Peter Pan and a fairy named Tinker Bell enter the nursery and begin looking for Peter's shadow. Tink finds the shadow, and Peter tries to reattach it to himself using soap. When this fails, he begins to cry. Wendy wakes up, and Peter introduces himself. Wendy sews Peter's shadow back on, but Peter behaves as if he accomplished the task himself. When Wendy protests, Peter flatters her. She offers him a kiss, but he doesn't know what this means, so she gives him a thimble. He, in return, gives her a button, which she puts on her necklace. Peter tells Wendy he ran away to go live with the fairies because he didn't want to grow up. He introduces Tinker Bell, who behaves rudely. The group flies toward Neverland for several days and nights. Along the way, Peter sometimes leaves them to have other adventures and doesn't always remember who they are when he returns. They finally arrive in Neverland, the sun guiding their way with 1,000,000 golden arrows. Peter tells them about the island's pirates. Captain James Hook leads them and has an iron hook instead of a right hand. As they arrive, the pirates fire their cannon at the group, separating them from one another. Left alone with Wendy, the jealous Tinker Bell decides to try to get rid of her. The number of lost boys in Neverland fluctuates. Some die in battle. Peter thins out others when they grow too old. The current boys are Tootles, Nibs, Slightly, Curly and the twins. The pirates hunting the boys around the island include the oddly lovable Smee and Hook himself. A handsome man, refined in both speech and dress. Behind the pirates, come the Indians with their brave princess, Tiger Lily. Hungry animals follow the Indians, including a huge crocodile. On his way to Hook's ship, Peter passes the crocodile. He notices it is no longer ticking, so he begins making the sound himself so any beasts who hear it will think he is the crocodile and leave him alone. Meanwhile, the crocodile follows Peter. Once at the ship, Peter sees the sound's effect on the pirates and becomes pleased with his own trickery. He hides in the ship's cabin and stops making ticking sounds. Hook, relieved, orders a pirate to fetch a whip from the cabin. The pirate enters the cabin and dies as Peter crows rapturously. Another goes in and also dies from Peter's screech. Hook decides to send the lost boys into the cabin to either kill whatever's in there, or die trying. To die will be an awfully big adventure. Inside the cabin, Peter frees the boys. He then sneaks out of the cabin, unties Wendy and takes her place, wearing her shawl. He crows again. To rally his unnerved crew, Hook suggests throwing Wendy overboard, since women are bad luck on ships. As the pirates approach the ersatz, Peter reveals himself. The pirates and lost boys begin fighting. At one point, Peter stabs Hook, who then drops his sword, but Peter invites him to pick it up. Hook asks Peter who he is, and Peter's reply depresses Hook. He feels Peter's response is the ultimate example of proper behavior in that it shows utter lack of thought about himself. Hook begins to fight again, but now he is mainly concerned with making Peter misbehave. On impulse, Hook jumps up on a railing. He motions to Peter to kick him overboard, and, when Peter complies, Hook falls. Happy in the thought that Peter behaved badly, straight into the crocodile's mouth. The surviving pirates flee, and Wendy puts the boys to bed. That night, Peter has nightmares, and Wendy holds and comforts him.